Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. Hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good wherever you are. So guys, I don't know if you've had a look at the photo shoot between Canelo Alvarez and Caleb Plant. Canelo Alvarez looking in fantastic shape, ripped, lean, ready to go. He looks in fighting shape and ready to go now. Caleb Plant looks a little soft. And looks how normally fighters look, but when is it? November 6th. We're now in September, October, November. Yeah, so you know what? I actually think Caleb Plant looked a bit fleshy, to be honest with you, for a fight that, you know, Caleb Plant's a big dude. Like, you know what? I saw Caleb Plant. I seen a picture of Caleb Plant. You know, I think he was with his missus on, you know, in a club. I don't know. He was out anyway, but his arms look massive. He looked ridiculously big. But most fighters are a little fleshy when they're getting ready for camp. They're not in lean, mean shape. And listen, a guy that trains himself, like, you know, it's very difficult to stay lean and trim. Like I've done it for a very long time where I've stayed low body fat. Since the pandemic, my body fat has increased and it's very difficult to get it back. You know, the diet goes all over the place. It's very hard. These guys have a reason. They obviously get paid a lot of money to go in the ring and box. So obviously they have a reason but it's very difficult. As you get older, to shift off the body fat is very, very difficult. And guys like Canelo Alvarez, guys like Mayweather, guys like Manny Pacquiao, they live the life. See, for them, this isn't a job. This is a lifestyle. Canelo Alvarez, Mayweather, Pacquiao, they breathe, sleep, eat boxing, and hence why you see them. I never ever saw Manny out of shape. I never ever saw Manny out of shape. I never saw Mayweather out of shape. I've never seen Canelo Alvarez out of shape. I've never seen Canelo look chubby. I've never seen Canelo out of shape. Canelo's a consummate professional, and so were Mayweather and Pacquiao, and hence why these guys were at the top of the sport. I've never seen them out of shape. I've never seen them, you know, slightly overweight or slightly, you know, chubby faced. I've never seen it. Never seen it. Dedicated. And as I said, Caleb Plant looked a little out of shape, but I can understand. Caleb Plant's a big guy. And as I say, I've trained, so I know staying in shape is very, very difficult. Staying in, you know, low body fat, especially someone like Caleb Plant who walks nowhere around 168. This is a guy that walks around 200 pounds, maybe more. He's a big guy. He's tall. He's a big bone guy. This is a guy that doesn't walk around near 168. He walks maybe 200 pounds easy, and maybe above that. When you see him on at the weigh-in, or when you see him near fight time, that's him at very, very low body fat. I am, however, surprised a little bit. What are we, September, near the end of September, to see him 6 weeks out of the fight looking a bit fleshy. That to me is a bit concerning. He didn't look ripped, you know, and I'd expect somebody 6 weeks out of a fight to look in very good shape. Not to be a little fleshy. You know, what that tells me is he's not, for what that tells me is he's not near 168 pounds, and he's still looking to make weight, because like I said, Caleb Plant's a very big guy. You know, so he's not walking around at 168. So with the fact that he's got body fat, you know, on his body, still tells me that, you know, although, you know, like I said, he is a big dude, I still think that you know, he's still got to, you know, lose some weight in order to get, you know, to make weight on weigh-in, which he's got 6 weeks, still a long way to go. But you know what? That's the difference between guys like Canelo. But here's the thing why Canelo, Mayweather, and Pacquiao are able to do what they do. Because they're so skillful and they're so good and they're so gifted and they're so talented and they're so hard-working, these guys are fighting at weight classes where they don't really belong. And what that enables you to do is these guys make the weight class that they're operating in very easy. Canelo makes 168 very easy. You know, he's not a natural 168. Canelo's not a 168 fighter. He's not he's not a naturally 168 guy. Canelo's a small guy for 168. But because he's so skilled, he's able to make that weight and he's able to beat guys and dominate. The same with Mayweather and Pacquiao at 147. They weren't 147 fighters. That's why they made the weight so easy. We know that Manny Pacquiao said he had 8 meals a day to get himself up to 147. Because he's not a 147 fighter. So he used to eat so many meals to try get up to that weight. Because he's not naturally a 147 fighter. But because of the fact that they were so good, they were so gifted, and they were able to beat competition at those weights, their life was made easier for them because they didn't struggle to make weight. A lot of fighters struggle to make weight. Many fighters even lost their fight at the weigh-in. You know, they really, really struggle. They struggle to make weight. And they're a shell of themselves on fight night. Or they may look good for 6-7 rounds and then they don't have nothing left in the tank. But guys like Canelo, Mayweather, Pacquiao, these guys are fighting at weight classes where it's easy. Like Canelo don't struggle to make 168. You think Canelo's struggling to make 168? No chance. Canelo makes it easy. Easy. You're not telling me that Canelo Alvarez, who started off his career at welterweight, I know he was very young at the time, has moved up to 168 and even moved up to 175, that he doesn't struggle. He makes those weight classes very easy. Hence why he's not having any trouble when he's weighing in. He's comfortable. He's easy. Whereas someone like Caleb Plant is a big super middleweight. Now, some people may say Benavidez, Benavidez is big, but Caleb Plant's big as well. You know, 6'1", he's very big boned, he's huge arms, you know, muscular physique. Caleb Plant, there's no way he walks around anywhere near 168. So he's having to lose weight. And when he gets to the weigh-in, you know, he's drained. You know, he's at a very, very low body fat. Canelo's low body fat, you know, as well. But it's a lot easier for him to make the weight. Whereas Caleb Plant, I'm pretty sure it's not as easy for him to make the weight. Caleb Plant, like Gabe Rosado said, I remember Gabe Rosado, and he's not as big as Caleb Plant. He said, you know what, we walk around at Gabe Rosado's fought at 154. I think he's fought at 168? Yeah, I think he has. I think Gabe Rosado said that I walk around 190 plus, like 180, 190 plus. And if Gabe Rosado's walk around weight is that, and he goes, when I'm talking 180, 190, I'm not fat. I'm in good shape walking around at that weight. And Caleb Plant's bigger than Gabe Rosado. So you can imagine, and Caleb Plant, although I said he looked a bit puffy and a bit out of shape, he's not fat. He's still in good shape for a normal person. He's still in good shape. What I meant is he's not in fighting shape at the minute. You know, if he was to go into the weigh-in like he is, people would think, oh, hang on a minute, has he put in the work? But I don't think a lot of, you know, fight fans understand that, you know, I have a little bit of knowledge because I've done a lot of study on it, and also I've studied it, you know, my master's degree had a portion of that in it. Also, and that with the knowledge that I picked up, you know, training myself, I know how hard it is. I know how hard it is, man. I've been on a diet where I've had like chicken salad, and I did it for 4 months where I just eating that fats and chicken and salad, and literally, and I was really thin at the end of that. But your body does get used to it, but it's very, very difficult. Your cravings are through the roof, and that's why I respect fighters, because I know what they have to go through. And especially the difference is although I was eating low carbs and I was looking to get ripped, I wanted to get a 6-pack, I wanted to get ripped. These guys are actually, some of these guys are so big for the weight that they're draining themselves, that it's almost like very difficult for them to make weight. Like, you know, look at guys like Kell Brook, for example. Look how hard it was for him to make weight. You know, Errol Spence. These guys are really, really difficult. You can tell, like, you know, when you see them on fight week, when you see guys like Kell Brook or Errol Spence, you could clearly see it in their face. Like their face has been sucked in. And I know this feeling because, like I said, when I was really, really low body fat, my face was sucked in. And people actually thought, you look ill. People were saying to me, are you okay? You know, you look ill. Because that's how you look. And that's how some of these fighters look. They look drained. Their face, their face is sucked in. Because no body fat. There's literally no body fat. And all the fat's been sucked. And it looks, it does look, you know, it does definitely look like you're ill. But guys like Canelo, I haven't seen him struggle. Like the last time I saw Canelo struggle was when he fought Amir Khan. Even Liam Smith, because that was at 154. He fought Amir Khan 155, and he looked like he was like what I'm talking. He looked sucked in, and you know he was struggling to make 155. You could tell. He definitely looked drained. Canelo did. Whereas once he's gone to 160, I've never really seen Canelo struggle to make weight. I think Canelo's made weight a lot easier. But when he was at 154, 155, I think it was quite clear that Canelo Alvarez was no longer a light middleweight, you know. He was struggling to make that weight. But Canelo Alvarez, once he went to 160, 168, I've never seen him struggle. He just looks healthy, he looks great. And that's because he's not naturally a 160 or 168 fight. I know he grew into the weight, he's grown into the weight classes, but he makes those weight classes quite easy. Like some people think that he can't make 160. I think he can make 160 still. I just don't think he'd want to, because it's, as you get older, why would you want to put yourself under stress for no reason? There's no reason for it. I'm pretty sure he could make it, and he could probably make it comfortably. But why put yourself under that stress when you've been fighting at 168, then having to take off 8 more pounds to make one? There's no need for it. There's no need for it. It's not like there's a mega fight down there that, you know, that's gonna make him hundreds of millions for him to do it. He'd probably do it if that was the case. But there's no fight down there. And let's not forget, Canelo is the money man. Canelo is the cash cow. He doesn't need to go to anybody. People need to come to him. So Canelo knows that. So why is he going to put himself under any kind of pressure? You know, he's making 168 easy. Life's good for Canelo. So there's no need for Canelo to actually put himself under any kind of pressure. There's no need for, you know, for him to put himself under any kind of stress, because there isn't any need for it. And so that's the way I view it, to be honest. I personally think that Canelo's a consummate professional. He's a great fighter. He lives the life. And you can see that when you see, you know, photo shoots, and Canelo's in great shape. And these things help you because Canelo's not worried about making weight. Canelo's not worried about losing. You know, Ricky Hatton had a big issue with that. Ricky Hatton struggled to make weight. You know, he was a guy that, you know, got himself overweight, and then he had to boil himself down. And that gets you in the long run. You can do that for so long, but as you get older, that gets you. And personally, I think a fighter should stay. I think if you're a consummate professional, I don't think a fighter should be anywhere near over 15 pounds. And even that might be a little bit much, but I think the max you should be over your fighting weight is about 15 pounds. You should be staying near your fighting weight year round. Because if you're going 20, 30, 35 pounds above your fighting weight, when you get back to camp, like even Josh Taylor, for example, I saw Josh Taylor and I was like, whoa, this guy's put on some serious weight, man. You know, he came back and I'm not saying he was out of, like, fat, but he looked out of shape, man. And you just think to yourself that it's hard. It is hard because Taylor's a big guy. But still, when you look at guys like Mayweather, Pacquiao, Canelo, they're always in shape year round. But again, like I said, I've just told you the reasons why that it's easier for those guys. Those guys are fighting at weight classes where they make easily, where a lot of these other guys, because they're not as good as these fighters, and these fighters are able to move up so many weight classes, that it's a lot easier for these guys to make weight. They're not really struggling because they're fighting at a weight class which isn't their natural weight. Whereas guys like Taylor, guys like Caleb Plant, they're fighting at weight classes which it's not easy for them to make that weight. You know, it's hard. You know, they have to put their body under a lot to make those weights. So, yeah, that's just my take on it. But, you know, what do you guys think? Do you read much into it? Canelo Alvarez looking in great shape. Can Caleb Plant pull it off? Leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think. And, guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.